Good evening and welcome to our program. This series is focusing on This Is Your FBI. This Is Your FBI was a radio crime drama which aired in the United States on ABC from April 6, 1945 to January 30th, 1953 for a total of 409 shows. The show featured true cases from the FBI and was told from an FBI agent's viewpoint. FBI Chief J. Edgar Hoover gave it his endorsement, calling it our show and calling it the finest dramatic program on the air. Generally, I do not include advisories. Given Hoover's polarizing nature, I will share this. Dramatized stories created for propaganda purposes are not history. They tell one biased side of the story, and in no way am I saying that these are reliable stories. I just believe them to be interesting when viewed through the scope of entertainment and weird history. Finally, I'd like to send a specific thank you to publicdomainreview.org and archive.org for organizing and compiling all of this media. If you would like to listen to standalone media, we have included a link in the description.
The Equitable Life Assurance Society presents This Is Your FBI. This is Your FBI, the official broadcast from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, presented as a public service by the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States and the Equitable Society's representative in your community. Rain isn't the only thing that can ruin a summer vacation. Worry is another. Worry about the financial future of your family. Well, why not slip some of that burden onto the broad shoulders of the Equitable Life Assurance Society? The Equitable shoulders have the combined broadness of nearly 4 million members who have joined forces to protect one another. For the peace of mind that only well-planned life insurance can give, see your Equitable Society representative. He'll arrange to give you a lifelong vacation from worry. Tonight's FBI file, The Ambitious Widow.
There have been many wise and practical suggestions offered to your FBI and to every other law enforcement agency on methods of curbing the current serious crime wave. Most of those suggestions had merit. But of them all, only one was an absolute preventative. That one was eternal vigilance. Law-abiding citizens have a tendency to forget that crime, like many other things, runs in cycles. Let one crime seem to be successful, and there will be a series of such crimes. Then, because the gap has been filled, those crimes cease, and another type will begin. But there's no way of knowing which new trend will begin. And that is why your FBI tells you that there's only one way for you, the citizen, to help fight the crime wave. That way, to repeat, is eternal vigilance. Tonight's FBI file opens on a rainy day in a quiet cemetery near a large Midwestern town. Two of the mourners are talking as, in the background, a solemn prayer is being intoned as the casket is about to be lowered.
For as much as it hath pleased Almighty God, in his wise providence...
Poor Lou.
Yeah.
You know, Hank, I still can't believe he's dead.
Yeah, I sure went quick.
I saw him the day before he died. He never looked healthier to me.
Uh-huh.
He was a nice guy. I liked working for him.
Yeah, Lou was okay.
Yeah, one good thing about it, he went out legitimate. No guns or nothing.
I wonder who'll take over now.
Hank, that ain't no way to talk.
Why not?
Lou ain't even buried yet.
He's dead, ain't he?
I know, but...
I was thinking. I've been working with Lou for better than 10 years. I'm the logical guy to step in.
Hank, let's talk about it later.
ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. Amen.
Amen. Well, let's go over and see Nan.
Okay. Hello, Nan.
Hello, Hank. Ted?
We want to tell you how sorry we are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If there's anything we can do, just say the word.
You're very sweet.
You still going to live at the hotel?
No, I bought a boat.
Are you going to live on it?
Yes.
Hey, that's a good idea. You can get away for a while. Help you forget.
I don't plan to go away.
Where is the boat?
Tied up at the foot of 14th Street.
You going to keep it there?
Yes.
What for?
Hank, lay off the question.
It's all right, Ted. I'm keeping the boat at 14th Street, Hank, for a very good reason. So many piers near there to steal from.
Hey, Hank, there's a lot of boats tied up here.
It's a public dock. Anybody can come in.
Well, how do you tell which one is Ann's?
Ted, she told me the name. It's the Dolphin. And there it is.
Where?
That black job down at the end, see?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's a big boat.
Yeah. Hey, I don't see Nan.
We'll hail her. Oh, hi there. Anybody aboard?
Hey, there she is.
Jump aboard, boys.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Nan.
Hello. It's so nice of you to come down to see me.
As soon as we got the word you were looking for us, we came right over.
It's quite a boat.
Well, I think it should be good to work with. You know, when Lou and I were first married, we spent our honeymoon on a cruiser like this.
Oh?
We stole enough to make us rich.
Stole what?
Stuff off piers.
And then,
Yes?
is that what you plan to do again?
Yes.
That's kind of tough for a dame, ain't it?
Well, I'm really depending on Lou's friends to carry me through.
Is that why you sent for us?
Yes. You're the last two boys on my list. I've talked to all the others. They're all coming along with me.
You got definite plans for action?
Yes. Would you care to join us?
Okay.
Good. How about you, Ted?
Anything you say is good enough for me.
Oh, fine. Come on down to the cabin, then I'll tell you about our first job.
When is it?
Tonight. Hank, please cut the motors.
Right.
We'll drift in just right.
Hey, look at those crates of silk.
We should be able to load all of them onto the boat in 10 minutes.
What about the watchman?
We always stays up front.
You cased this thing pretty good.
Lou always said it pays to be careful.
Hey, how much is that silk worth, man?
There ought to be about $30,000 in that load.
That much?
Surely. Silk's back on the market, but it's still difficult to get. Here we are. Tie us up, Hank.
Yeah.
Ted, you and the boys start working.
All right. Okay, boys, up you go.
Wait a minute. Duck, you guys.
What is it?
Someone is coming down the pier.
Can you handle this, Hank?
Sure.
Hey, what's going on here? What are you doing in that boat?
Well, I'll tell you, mister. We sprang a leak, and it looks like this pier. Okay, let's finish loading and get out of here.
The next morning in the field office of your FBI, Special Agent Jim Taylor enters his office to find Elliot Sheridan waiting for him.
Well, hello, Elliot.
Hi, Jim. You look like you've done a hard day's work.
I have. I've been climbing all over Pier 27.
I was hoping you'd come into the office before you went out there.
Oh, why?
Well, when I checked in this morning from Salt Lake City, I finished my report. The boss assigned me to work with you.
Hey, that's fine. Well, there's Plenty of work for both of us to do.
Oh, what's the story?
It's a theft from an interstate shipment.
Done with the boat?
That's right.
Yeah, what was stolen?
Over $30,000 worth of silk.
Oh. Any clues?
No, we can't tell yet. Watchman was slugged, but he may be able to help us.
How?
Says he got a pretty good look at one of the men in the boat. He's almost certain he can identify that man.
And where's the watchman now?
He's down at police headquarters looking over pictures. If he finds the man he saw, they'll call us.
What's the next step?
Well, I've alerted all dock owners to be doubly careful, keep their goods well guarded at night.
Any chance of locating the stolen silk?
I've already contacted every silk wholesaler in town.
No luck, though. Huh?
Well, none yet. But they're going to call in if they come across any of the loot.
And what do we do now?
Well, there's nothing much we can do, Elliot, but wait until we hear from that watchman.
Jack!
Oh, hi, Hank. Come on, have a drink.
You buying?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, Mac, couple of ryes.
Where you been?
Oh, I went to the boat.
Oh, did you get paid?
Sure.
How much?
Huh?
How much did Nan give you?
5 bills.
500?
Uh-huh.
No wonder she wanted to pay everybody off one at a time.
Hey, what are you talking about?
I spoke to the other guys. They got 100 apiece.
What? Is that all?
Yeah. That's 800 for them and 5 for you. That's 1,300 she's paid so far. Out of 8,000.
She told me she only got 2,000.
I checked up. She got 8 G's in cash. Okay. Well, I'll tell you one thing. She ain't going to pay me off in the dark. I did a lot of work. I arranged for the trucks to pick up the stuff off the dock. I even arranged for the fence to get rid of it.
Well, I guess there's always trouble when you work for a dame.
There don't have to be. Not if you handle them right.
How much you going to ask for?
25%. That's 2 G's.
Ah, she won't go for that.
Oh, yeah? Come on over with me. I'll show you.
I can't go right now.
Why not?
I got a date. Look, you go on down to the boat. I'll meet you later.
Hi, Jim.
Hello, Elliot.
Any news from the watchman?
Yes, while you were out, police headquarters called. The watchman definitely identified a man named Henry Davis, alias Hank Davis.
What's the record on Davis?
I've got it right over here. Here it is. Take a look at it.
23 arrests.
Starting, you'll notice, when he was 15.
Yeah, I see one of these arrests was for hijacking.
Mm-hmm.
That would tie him in with this kind of a job.
There's an even stronger tie-in than that down there. See that arrest back in 34? It's down to the bottom there.
34, yeah, here it is. Well, what about it?
I thought I remembered that job, so I checked up on it.
Find anything?
Mm-hmm. Along with Davis, the police also arrested a man named Lou Mercer.
The one who died last week?
Same one. And at that time, Mercer had a gang of river pirates stealing stuff on both sides of the river.
Yeah, that is a strong tie-in, Jim.
Now all we have to do is find Davis. Oh, by the way, you pick up anything down at the docks?
No, I spoke to the watchman on the adjoining dock. They didn't see anything.
No clues of any kind, huh?
Not a thing. Looks like they must have glided up to the pier with their motors off. They weren't even heard.
Yeah, I guess that's the way they would operate. Excuse me.
Sure.
Special Agent Taylor. Yes, Sergeant. Oh, you have? That's fine. Oh, wait till I get a pencil and I'll write that down. Give me that pencil, will you?
Sure.
Thanks. Okay, go ahead, Sergeant. 721 Oak Street. Room 129. Got it. Yeah. Thanks very much, Sergeant.
Something on Davis?
Yes, that's the call we've been waiting for. We've got Davis's address. I'm going over there now.
Ahoy there! Anybody aboard?
Who's there?
It's me, Nan, Ted.
What do you want, Ted?
I was supposed to meet Hank here.
Come aboard.
Okay. You see Hank?
Yes. Came down here. He's very angry.
Yeah, I know. He was sore when he left me.
Did he tell you what he wanted?
Yeah, more dough. And I gotta admit, he had a point there, Nan.
Why do you say that?
Well, after all, he did a lot of work. And me did, too.
Ted, I got the boat.
Yeah, I know.
And I lined up the job.
Sure, but...
But how can you say that you boys did so much work?
Well, I should have got more than 500, Nan. After all, you got 8,000 for the stuff.
Well, supposing I did, what about it?
I want a bigger cut.
How much?
Same as Hank.
You know what he asked for?
Yeah, 25%.
That's right.
Did you give it to him?
No.
Well, what did Hank do?
Tried to use violence. Cuffed me around.
What happened?
Come over to the cabin. Look there. On the floor.
Hank. He looks dead.
He should. He is.
We will return in just a moment to tonight's case from the files of your FBI. See that happy-looking chap over there? He's a professional worry lifter.
You mean he goes around cheering people up, giving them good advice and so on?
Oh, he does more than that, Ed. He's a specialist. He lends a sympathetic ear to people in trouble, sure. But he also lends a helping hand. He not only acts, but he talks as well.
Oh, sounds like a man everybody ought to know.
Oh, he is. He's your Equitable Society representative. If fear about your family's future is destroying your peace of mind, you'll find that your Equitable Society representative really knows the answers. For instance, right now, you may be doing some unnecessary worrying, simply because you haven't heard of readjustment income.
As a matter of fact, I never did hear of it.
The Equitable Society's readjustment income plan provides extra income for the widow during the 2 toughest years. The 2 years immediately following her husband's death. Years in which she is adjusting the family way of life to a lowered income. You know, expenses can't be reduced overnight. It takes time. And that's why every life insurance program should provide readjustment income for extra help during the 2 toughest years.
Say, this readjustment income plan sounds okay to me. Is it expensive?
Why, it may not cost you a cent. It may require only a simple rearranging of your present life insurance program. In any event, the man to see is your professional worry lifter, your Equitable Society representative. Look in the phone book for the Equitable Life Assurance Society.
That's EQUITABLE.
Or send a postcard, care of this station, to the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States. And now back to the FBI file, The Ambitious Widow.
It is not the purpose of tonight's case from the files of your FBI to tell you that the mobs of criminals operating in this country today are being run by women. Nothing could be further from the truth. And yet, women are active participants in the current crime wave. That fact has become more obvious as each year's records are studied. And it is an actual statistic that in the past year, women were so active that of all arrests made for criminal homicide in the United States, the number of women arrested exceeded 10%. One other fact emerges from a study of that same table of arrested persons, and that is that there is virtually no crime or method of operation too difficult for the lady criminal. Yes, in this field, too, women have definitely proven that they are not the weaker sex. Tonight's file continues in the FBI field office. Special Agent Jim Taylor has just returned from a search of Hank Davis's apartment.
Jim. Find anything up at Davis's place?
No, not a thing.
Any of his neighbors able to help?
They wouldn't if they could.
That kind of a place, huh?
That kind. There's one thing that bothers me, though.
Oh, what's that?
Davis didn't show up all night. I checked this morning before I came in.
He couldn't have gotten in the back way, could he?
No, we've had the building under complete surveillance.
Hey, you don't suppose he found out he'd been identified by the watchman, do you?
Well, I don't see how he could have.
You think he skipped town?
No, I believe he's still around.
Well, what's the next step, Jim? Do we wait for Davis to show up?
No, on the way in, I asked the file room to send up that copy of Davis's record.
Uh-huh.
We might get the names of some of his friends from that, start checking on them. I'll get... Special Agent Taylor. Oh, yes, Sergeant. Well, you have? Yeah, thanks for calling. We'll be right down. That was the morgue, Elliot. They've just identified a body down there. It's Mr. Hank Davis.
Nan! Ahoy there, Nan!
That you, Ted?
Yeah, okay to come aboard?
Come ahead.
I thought you might still be sleeping.
No. Been up for hours.
Did you get rid of the package?
What package?
Hank.
Oh, yes. Tied some weights on him, dropped him overboard.
Right here?
Surely, why?
Suppose he comes up.
Didn't you ever hear of a current?
Oh.
Ted, stop worrying.
Okay. Do any of the other guys know about Hank?
No.
Well, suppose they find out.
Well,
They might not like it.
well, I'm afraid they'll have to like it. It'll teach them that a woman can be efficient, too. Did you call that number I gave you?
Oh, for the truck? Yeah. He'll be here at 6 in the morning.
Good. I called the rest of the boys. They're ready.
Will we go tonight?
At midnight.
Oh, I hope it ain't too soon after the last job.
Ted, just let me do the worrying. Come here. I want to show you something.
What is it?
You'll see. Look under that canvas.
Hey, a machine gun.
And the way it's mounted, you see, you can swing it to cover any angle.
Well, what do you want with a machine gun?
Just in case of trouble.
Oh,
This is going to be your job.
the gun?
Yes. You stay back here from the time we leave until we get home.
Okay.
And I don't have to tell you what to do, Ted. If there's trouble, you use it.
It's over this way, Elliot. Body is right over here. Yeah, here we are.
Ah, it's Davis, all right.
Bullet hole in his head.
Must have been dead when he hit the water.
According to the coroner, he was. Davis's personal effects are over on that table. Let's take a look at them, huh?
Right.
Here, sit here a minute.
Okay. I guess these are just the papers and money he had on him.
Yes. All of his clothes are over there. He wasn't carrying much money, was he?
Oh, not for a fellow who just pulled a big job.
That key you've got there won't help us. That's the key to his apartment. See the 129 stamped into it?
Oh, yeah, that's his room number, wasn't it?
Phone number on this slip of paper. I wonder what this is.
Maybe a girl.
Could be. Oh, wait a minute. This exchange is in the business district. Elliot, let's get out of here. I'm going to make a phone call. See who belongs to this number. Elliot, I called that number. It was a trucking outfit.
Trucking outfit?
Mm-hmm.
He could have been in on the job.
No, I checked up on them down at the office. They're legitimate.
Well, what did they have to report?
They picked up some crates of silk from the dock at the foot of 14th Street.
Yeah, but who paid for the job?
Well, they were paid at the warehouse where they delivered the silk.
Oh, I see.
I had the police send a radio patrol car around to the warehouse.
Pick anybody up?
No, there wasn't anyone at the warehouse, but the silk is there.
Hey, the office can find out who owns the warehouse from the tax records. It'll probably turn out to be Davis.
Well, the office is already working on that angle. I don't think Davis was the head man, though.
Oh, why not?
Well, the trucking outfit I spoke to said they got another call just about an hour ago.
With another order?
That's right, to pick up another load tomorrow morning and at the same dock.
Why don't we go down to the dock, pick up whoever's anchored there?
Well, the 14th Street Pier is open to the public. There's always about a dozen boats tied up down there.
Oh.
But I've got an idea. Let's get back to the office and we'll work from there. I know the police will want to join us.
On the river that night, there were 3 large, fast boats manned by special agents of your FBI. Boat number 1, with Special Agent Jim Taylor, was idling in the middle of the river. Boat number 2, with Special Agent Elliot Sheridan aboard, was north of 14th Street. Boat number 3 was to the south. Special Agent Taylor is talking over the two-way radio to both of the other boats.
I see movement aboard a large black boat. There are about 10 men aboard. It's now pulling away from the dock. The boat is headed north. Sheridan on boat 2. Have you spotted her yet?
Yes, Jim. Just picked her up in the glasses.
Fine. Now start up the river yourself and stay in front of her.
Right.
I'll follow her from behind and check with you later.
Jim Taylor.
Come in, Sheridan.
You see what she's doing now, Jim?
She's headed in toward a pier.
That's right.
All right. Stop your motors and stay where you are. We're going to follow her in. Boats 2 and 3. The name on the boat is the Dolphin. It's pulling into Pier 40 now. Come up behind boat number 1 and give me some cover. The Dolphin is now tied up to the pier. They're starting to load. We can nail them in the act. Let's start to close in.
What is it?
How's it going?
We've got one more crate to load and then we're finished.
Oh,
Ed, why aren't you standing by that gun?
I wanted to see how it was going.
Oh, please get back there.
Look,
Wait.
What is it?
Your motors. You boys, quiet a minute.
I hear him, too. If there was only a moon, we could see.
They're coming closer.
Hey, those lights! They're shining right on us.
Stand where you are, all of you.
Nan, it's cops.
Yes.
What'll we do? Look, there's more than one boat.
I know.
They got us cut off.
Well, they aren't taking us.
Huh?
Get on that gun.
Oh, Nan, look.
Do as I say.
No dice. They're right on top of us.
I'll handle it myself.
Oh, Nan, come back here. Nan, they're alongside.
Keep off of this boat.
Get away from that gun, lady.
Jim, look out!
Sorry, lady.
Let go of me.
All right. Elliot, cover the rest of them. I'll bring our lady right over to join you.
All members of the hijacking gang were tried and sentenced to serve long terms in the federal penitentiary for larceny from interstate shipments. Nan Mercer was turned over to local authorities to be placed on trial for murder. And thus another band of criminals was broken up by the cooperative efforts of local police who supplied the launches and of your FBI. Everywhere across America, that kind of cooperation is taking place. And as in tonight's case, every means of communication and transportation is being used to narrow the circle around the criminal, and to keep narrowing it until he is trapped, arrested, and convicted.
In just a moment, we will tell you about next week's exciting case from the files of your FBI.
Just 1 second, Mr. Keating. I want to check and see if I'm on the beam about the Equitable Society's Readjustment Income Plan. My understanding is that this plan would give my wife extra income during the first 2 years after my death.
You've got it straight, Ed. Extra cash every month for 2 years to give her time to adjust her expenses to a new standard of living.
Sounds like a mighty fine idea to me.
Then let me suggest that you get in touch with your Equitable Society representative without delay. Let him show you how little it costs to provide your wife with equitable readjustment income. Call your Equitable representative soon, or send a postcard care of this station to the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States.
Next week, we will bring you another colorful story from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the diamond-studded Double Cross.
The incidents used in tonight's Equitable Life Assurance Society's broadcast are adapted from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. However, all names used are fictitious, and any similarity thereof to the names of persons living or dead is accidental. Tonight, the music was composed and conducted by Frederick Steiner. The author was Jerry Lewis. Your narrator was Dean Carlton, and Special Agent Taylor was played by Stacey Harris. This is Your FBI is a Jerry Devine production. This is Larry Keating speaking for the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States and the Equitable Society's representative in your community, and inviting you to tune in again next week at this same time when the Equitable Life Assurance Society will bring you another thrilling story from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The diamond-studded double cross on This Is Your FBI.
This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
The Equitable Life Assurance Society presents This Is Your FBI. This is Your FBI, the official broadcast from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Transcribed and presented as a public service by the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States and the Equitable Society's representative in your community. We are acutely aware that our Equitable Society radio messages are listened to in millions of homes. To the Equitable Life Assurance Society, that means a serious responsibility. Therefore, our Equitable commercials are keyed to your home and family problems. Tonight's message is on education. Are there young children in your home? Then be sure to listen to the special message on the Equitable Education Fund, coming in just 14 minutes. Tonight's FBI file, The Benevolent Corpse.
If you think about crime or criminals very much, you're likely to think that most crimes are committed out of hunger, out of passion, or a desperate need for revenge. But if those are your thoughts, then you are laboring under a popular delusion. The simple truth, and it is proven by the records of your FBI, is that more than half of all persons arrested have records of prior arrests, and that a large number of crimes are committed by those who have devoted their lives to this field. Therein lies the great tragedy behind the current crime wave. For the number of people who enter this field every day is increasing. And there is a serious question in many minds as to whether or not any nation can long stand the steady drain of its manpower. As a people, we have faced our problems honestly and squarely. We have succeeded in solving most of those problems by combined national effort. The time has come to turn that national effort into fighting the nation's criminals. Tonight's FBI file opens in a modest apartment located in the downtown section of a large Midwestern city. In the bedroom of this flat, a haggard-looking elderly man is lying on a cot. A young couple sits beside him.
Wilbur.
Yes, Uncle Ben?
I want you to know how pleased I am that you and Trudy could come.
Oh, gee, we're glad to be here.
Of course we are. As soon as we heard you were sick, Uncle Ben, we rushed right over.
You're good kids, both of you.
How long have you been in bed like this?
Almost a week.
Well, have you had a doctor?
No.
Oh, gosh, don't you think you should get one?
No.
Why not?
I just don't believe in them.
Yes, but...
Trudy, whenever Uncle Ben makes up his mind, don't try to change it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, can I get you something, Uncle Ben?
No. Stay where you are. Let me tell you why I sent for you.
Okay.
I got a very strong feeling that I'm not going to get over this one.
Oh, Uncle Ben.
Quiet. So I want to do something for you kids. I want to leave you something. Sort of a combination inheritance and wedding present.
Gee.
It's right there in that box. Get it, Trudy.
Yes, sir.
You can open it now.
Yes, sir. Wilbur, look.
What?
Look in here. It's full of jewels.
Yeah.
Oh, Uncle Ben, they're wonderful.
They should be. They're the reason why I'm on my deathbed.
What do you mean?
I had to stand for 2 hours in the pouring rain, waiting for the people that own them things to go to bed.
Oh.
Did you steal them here?
No, in Detroit. Now, here's what I want you to do with them. There's a card there on the dresser.
Uh-huh.
A man named Richie. He's a fence. Take them to him.
All right.
Say I sent you.
Okay.
He'll give you enough for you to have a real good honeymoon.
Uncle Ben, we couldn't do that.
Why not?
It'd leave you with nothing.
I'm going to die anyway. All I ask is that you save enough out of it to give me a decent burial.
Gee, you're the best uncle a fella ever had.
In the same city, at a local FBI field office, Special Agent Jim Taylor is seated at his desk as a fellow agent approaches.
Oh, Jim,
Yes, Andy?
how about coming down for some lunch?
Oh, I can't right now, Andy. I'm waiting for a report from the local police.
Oh, what on?
Suspect that's wanted by the Detroit office.
What's the story, Jim?
They had a jewel robbery out there about 3 weeks ago. Local residence was broken into. Very professional job.
Yeah?
Over $30,000 worth of gems were stolen.
I see.
A car was seen pulling away from the house the night of the robbery, and a witness spotted the license plates. They were from our state.
Did he get the number, too?
Fortunately, yes. I did a checkup and found that the car was one that was stolen from here.
Oh.
The Detroit office combed the car for prints and finally found one behind the driver's mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It was worked up, sent on to the laboratory, and identified as belonging to an old-time thief named Ben Cooper.
Cooper? The name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, it should. I checked with our local police. They knew him very well. In fact, to the best of their knowledge, he makes his headquarters here. Oh, excuse me, Andy. Special Agent Taylor. Oh, yes, Sergeant. Yes. Wait, let me write that down, will you? 342 North River Street. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot, Sergeant. Goodbye. There's an address on Cooper. The police say you're still living there 2 months ago.
Well, that's a break.
Yeah. I'll get a warrant. I'm sure the police will be glad to go over with me and pick Cooper up.
Sit down, both of you.
Thanks, Mr. Ritchie. Sit here, Trudy.
Thank you, dear.
Now, then. You say Ben Cooper told you to come here to see me.
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen old Ben in a long time. How is he?
He's not, Mr. Ritchie.
Huh?
He's dead.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yep. He died the day before yesterday.
Oh, what happened?
Well, it was sort of in the line of duty. He caught a cold while he was doing the job.
I see. Poor old Ben.
We gave him a very nice funeral, Mr. Ritchie. The best that money could buy.
Good for you.
And that's one of the reasons we've come here. We have to pay for it.
Oh. Well, look, Ben was really just an acquaintance.
We're not here for donations. No, Uncle Ben sent us to you on business.
What do you mean?
Show him, Trudy.
Oh, sure. Here you are.
Wow.
Those are from his last job.
Quite a haul.
Uncle Ben said you could get rid of them for us.
Oh, what do you think they're worth, Mr. Ritchie?
That's hard to say.
Well, could you give us an idea, maybe? This is all kind of new to us.
You mean you're legit?
Oh, no. I've stolen some stuff, but never anything big.
Wilbur's sort of just starting, Mr. Ritchie.
Yeah.
He's stolen cars, clothes, things like that. But he's a comer. His Uncle Ben told me that.
I see.
So, what do you think we can get for him?
Well, I'll have to make an estimate. That'll take time.
How long?
I'm not sure.
Could you kind of hurry, Mr. Ritchie? Wilbur and I want to go on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Well, come back tomorrow.
Well, Jim, you pick up your suspect?
No, Andy, we didn't.
Oh, what happened? I thought you had an easy one there.
Well, it would have been, except for one factor. Cooper is dead.
Well, when did this happen?
Oh, he died 2 days ago. And of natural causes, too.
Did you get this from an authentic source?
Oh, yes, it's true enough. I talked to the undertaker who buried him.
Mm-hmm. What about the jewels?
No trace of them.
Oh, fine. You searched his living quarters?
Yes, I spent all afternoon in his apartment. No trace of them at all.
Did he live with anyone?
No, lived all alone.
How about a safe deposit box?
Oh, I'm checking on that angle now.
Maybe you already cleared them with a fence.
Yeah, it's a possibility. However, there was no trace of any cash around the place.
I see.
I'm checking to see if you had any bank accounts, too.
Didn't you really run into a stone wall?
I did pick up one piece of information which might be a lead.
What's that?
I told you I talked to the undertaker who buried him.
Yeah.
He said a young couple had arranged for the burial.
Oh?
One of them, the young man, said that he was Cooper's nephew.
They paid for everything?
No, they just gave him a small deposit. They said they'd pay the remainder in a few days.
Did he have an address on this couple?
Just the uncle's residence.
They may just forget about it.
Well, I felt that way too, Andy, but the undertaker said that they seemed like very nice kids. He was certain that they would pay him.
Let's hope he's right.
Yes, I told him if he did hear from them to let me know at once.
Is that you, Wilbur?
Oh, yes, dear.
I'm out here in the kitchen.
Oh.
Come on out here. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Wilbur, look at what I'm doing.
Huh?
I'm making my first cake.
Oh.
It's going to be sort of like our wedding cake. I went to the store and bought a little bride and a little groom. I'm going to put them on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wilbur, aren't you interested?
Huh? Oh, sure, honey bun, but...
But what?
Well, I've just been to see Mr. Ritchie.
Yes?
He gave us back the jewels.
Huh? What for?
Well, he said he didn't want to handle them.
Why not?
Well, he said they were too hot for him.
Oh.
Oh, gee, this is awful, Trudy. Now we won't have any money for our honeymoon or for Uncle Ben's funeral.
Wilbur, don't be discouraged. We'll still get the money for those things.
Oh, how?
Well, we'll go to Cleveland. There's a fence there we can see.
Oh.
Oh, very nice man. He's an old friend of my father's.
Did your father ever do business with him?
All the time. You know yourself he was the best jewel thief in the business outside of your Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Now, just give me those jewels.
Okay. Here.
We can start packing right now. And as soon as we... Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
This brooch.
Well, what about it?
Those aren't the same stones that were in it when we took it there.
What?
Let me look at some of this other stuff.
Trudy, what do you mean they're not the same stones?
These are imitations. Fake.
Oh. How can you tell?
Wilbur, I used to look at diamonds when I sat on my father's knee. I had one of those glasses that fit in your eye before I had dolls.
But they look just the same.
They are the same setting, but the real jewels were removed.
Well, the only one who could have done that is Mr. Ritchie.
I know.
Oh, so that's why he gave them back to us.
It must be. Wilbur, we're going back there to see him right now.
Just a minute.
Hello, Mr. Ritchie.
Oh. What do you want?
We want to talk to you, Mr. Ritchie.
Well, look, I'm busy right now.
This is very important. Go ahead, Wilbur.
Now, just a minute.
Sorry, Mr. Ritchie.
What's the meaning of this?
Tell him, Wilbur.
Well, we came here because... Well, because you...
We came back here because the stones were taken out of our jewels.
What are you talking about?
I know jewels, Mr. Ritchie. The ones Wilbur brought back were fake.
Well, they were fakes in the first place. That's why I wouldn't handle them.
Oh, but you said before they were too hot.
Oh, I thought you were nice kids. I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
I don't believe you.
Now, look.
You give us back the real stones. We want to take them to Cleveland. We know someone there who will treat us fairly.
All right, I've heard enough of this. Get out of here.
Wilbur, don't you let him talk to us that way.
Get out, I said.
Wilbur, make him give us back those jewels.
Mr. Ritchie, you heard what she said. Now, if you don't give them back, I'll...
You'll what?
He'll use force. Won't you, Wilbur?
Yes.
Why, you little punk.
You hit him.
That's right.
Wilbur, you get right up and hit him back.
Very well, Trudy.
Mr. Ritchie, that's just about it. Now, Wilbur, let's look for those jewels ourselves.
We will return in just a moment to tonight's case from the files of your FBI. How that grand old song brings back memories of bright college years. Years when you were forming friendships that were to last you all your whole life through.
You're right, Mr. Keating. They were mighty good years.
Profitable years, too, Bob. You may not know it, but the more a man learns, the more he earns. The fact is that the average college graduate earns $72,000 more during his working years than the average American. Of course, exceptional individuals do rise to the top without higher education. But the fact still holds good. College is the best investment loving fathers and mothers can make for their children.
I wish I could be sure that my two boys would go.
Don't just wish, Bob. Make sure they go. Make sure with an equitable education fund.
What is an equitable education fund?
It's a surefire plan offered by the Equitable Life Assurance Society, and it includes these important features. 1, you start when your children are young and spread their educational costs over 10 or 15 years instead of taking a licking in 4. 2, when your boy or girl is ready for education, the money is ready and waiting for him, right there in the Equitable Education Fund. 3, this equitable plan works whether you live or die. If you are totally or permanently disabled, the fund continues to build up without any further payments. If you die, the education fund becomes fully established immediately.
Boy, that's just what I need. How do I start an equitable education fund for my kids?
The man to see is your Equitable Society representative. Give your children their chance to earn that extra $72,000 by getting in touch with your Equitable representative soon. Or send a postcard care of this station to the Equitable Society.
That's EQUITABLE.
The Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States. And now back to the FBI file, The Benevolent Corpse.
Tonight's case from the files of your FBI deals exclusively with professional criminals, with those who make their precarious livelihood illegally. There's a reason for presenting this file to you because there has been built up in the public mind a false picture of the typical criminal. There is no such thing. Tonight, for instance, you meet 4 separate and distinct types. 1, the old man, whose age lends him a false gentility. 2, the young novice, whose youth lends him a false note of innocence. 3, the young bride, whose background gives her a knowledge of crime beyond her years. And 4, the fence, whose hardness and cunning make him difficult to detect. There are many other types of criminals whose age brackets likewise cover the young, the middle-aged, and the old, whose appearances are equally varied. So take this bit of advice from your FBI. Do not assume that you can spot a criminal by the way he looks, because no one can. Honesty is not in the face, it's in the heart. Tonight's file continues several hours later at the apartment of young Trudy and Wilbur Sheridan.
Wilbur?
Oh, yes, honey bunch.
What are you doing?
Oh, just writing a letter to the undertaker.
Oh.
Yeah, I explained to him that we were going to be out of town and that he'd have to wait a few more days for his money.
That's very nice.
Well, I didn't want him to think we'd try to cheat him.
You're so sweet.
You know, Trudy, I was just wondering.
What about?
Well, Mr. Ritchie, we don't know if he's alive or dead.
Wilbur, whichever he is, it's his own fault. He's a very dishonest man.
Yes, that's true. Oh, by the way, did you look over the stuff we took from him?
Yes.
His stuff, too?
Yes, some of it's almost as good as ours.
Oh, hey, that's swell.
Wilbur.
Yeah?
I think we'd better start packing.
Oh, for Cleveland?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure we can stay at your aunt's apartment there?
Of course, she'd love to have us.
Oh.
She told me that any time I wanted to use it, to just get the key from the superintendent.
Oh, she won't be there.
Oh, no, she's in jail.
Oh.
Wait until you see her apartment.
Yeah?
It has a wonderful kitchen. And you know something?
What?
I'll finally get a chance to make you that cake.
Andy. Andy, over here.
Hope I haven't kept you waiting, Jim.
No, I just got here. You got that warrant for me?
Yeah. I have it right here.
Oh, swell. Let's go inside, huh?
All right. Is this where that young couple live?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Andy.
Thanks.
Let's see. Apartment's right down the hall here.
How'd you finally locate them, Jim?
Well, that undertaker received a letter from the young man. His name is Wilbur Sheridan.
Sheridan?
Mm-hmm. He explained he was going out of town, said he'd forward the money later. He put this return address on the outside of the envelope.
I see.
Here we are.
Do we ring the bell?
No, they're not at home. Superintendent saw them leave with luggage last night. He gave me a key. That does it. Okay, after you, Andy.
All right. Did Sheridan say anything in the letter about where he was going?
Yeah. Cleveland.
Oh, did he give any address there?
No. Oh, I thought we might find something around here that'd give us a lead.
The place looks pretty barren, Jim. I'd say they're gone for good.
Would appear that way.
I'll take a look around in the bedroom.
Wait a minute.
Huh? What do you got?
This card was on the table there. George Ritchie, exporter.
Hey, that name sounds familiar, Jim.
Yeah, it should. There's a George Ritchie who's an old-time fence. I ran across him several years ago on the Lewis case.
Oh, yes, I remember him.
It's got to be the same one, Andy. This is the same address here on the card.
Sounds as if he might know something about those jewels.
Yeah. Andy, look, why don't you go back to the office? Contact Cleveland. I'll give you a description of the young couple and have all hotels and rooming houses checked.
Right.
I'm going to pay a call on George Ritchie.
Trudy!
I'm in the kitchen, Wilbur.
Oh.
Close your eyes before you come in.
Oh, what for?
Oh, Wilbur, please.
Okay.
That's it. Now you can open them.
Gee, the cake.
Uh-huh. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, yeah.
See the little bride and groom on top.
Sure, swell.
You want a piece?
Oh, be ashamed to spoil
Oh,
it.
don't be silly. I'll cut you one right now.
Okay, thanks. Oh, I saw the fence.
What did he say?
He said the stuff should be worth at least $10,000.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wasn't he a nice man?
Yeah.
When did you collect?
Oh, he said I should come back this afternoon.
Then we won't have to stay here at my aunt's at all.
No.
As soon as we get the money, we can go right off on our honeymoon.
Sure.
Oh, dear.
What's the matter?
I dropped a piece of the cake.
Jim, I didn't know you'd come back.
Oh, I just came in, Andy. I was just going to look for you.
Well, what happened?
Well, I went over to George Ritchie's place.
Yeah?
He wasn't there. I learned from the elevator operator that he'd gone out of town.
Everybody disappears on this case.
It seemed that way.
Any idea where he'd gone?
No, but we may have.
Well, how's that?
Oh, I got a warrant. Searched Ritchie's apartment. I found some pencil notations on the telephone pad.
Oh, what were they?
Well, one said 10:55, the other said 3:30.
Well, they sound like a train or plane time.
I believe they're train times. I talked to the switchboard operator in the building. She said that Ritchie had put in a call to the railroad depot just before he left.
Oh.
So I'm having railroad schedules checked now to see if they have a train leaving and arriving at a destination at that time. We should get some word soon.
Good.
Oh, Andy, I found something in Ritchie's apartment that definitely links him with the jewel robbery, but I must say I'm a little puzzled by it.
What do you mean?
Oh, wait a minute, here. Take a look at these.
Well.
Now, those are the same settings that Cooper stole in Detroit. But all the original stones have been removed. These stones you see there are just worthless hunks of glass.
What do you make of it, Jim?
Well, nothing yet. Oh, by the way, anything turn up from Cleveland on that young couple?
No, not yet. Still checking rooming houses and hotels.
Well, we have...
Jim.
Yeah, Bob?
Here's the information you wanted from the railroad.
Oh, swell.
They have a train that leaves here at 10:55 for Cleveland.
Does it arrive there at 3:30?
Yes.
Fine. Thanks a lot, Bob.
All right.
Andy, what time are you at?
1 o'clock.
I think we can catch up with Mr. Ritchie.
Trudy, honey bunch, I got it.
Huh?
I got the money, look.
Oh, Wilbur. How much is there?
$10,500.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Oh, wait, now, let me spread it out on the table and you can see the whole thing.
Oh, golly.
Look, let's not hang around here 1 minute. Let's get started on our honeymoon.
Sure.
Did you pack anything?
No, but it won't take a minute. I hardly finished unpacking.
Who can that be?
Oh, probably some friend of my aunt's. Whoever it is, I'll get rid of him.
Okay.
Just a minute.
Hello, young lady.
Oh,
Surprised to see me?
yes.
Who is it, Trudy?
It's Mr. Ritchie.
What?
Stand aside and let me in.
Oh, wait.
Sorry.
How did you get here?
How did you know where we were?
I remembered you saying you had a fence in Cleveland. I know most of the fences here, so I just inquired around until I found the right one.
That was very unfair.
Really?
Wilbur, you tell Mr.
Now, wait
Ritchie...
a minute. We're not going through that again. This time I have a gun. You see?
Oh, what do you want?
The money you got from that jewelry. I see you very conveniently laid it out for me.
Keep away from that money.
Oh, no.
Mr. Ritchie, that's for our honeymoon.
Very touching, but I'm taking it with me.
Oh, Wilbur, this is awful.
These bundles may bulge my pockets a little, but I don't think the inconvenience will be too great.
Wilbur, what can we do?
I don't know.
There's nothing you can do. I have the money, and now I'm leaving.
No, don't. Wilbur, call the police.
I think you'd have a tough job explaining things to them. You just stay put. Goodbye, suckers.
Just a minute, Richie.
Huh? There you are.
Oh, thank heaven. Who are you?
Special agent of the FBI.
Huh? Let me out of here.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We spent too much time locating you. You were picked up at the train, Richie, and trailed while you visited all those fences. I arrived here in time to see you visit the right one. Now, come along, all of you.
George Ritchie was given a 10-year sentence. Wilbur Sheridan a 5-year sentence, and Trudy Sheridan was given a 3-year sentence in federal prison for violation of the National Stolen Property Act. And thus your FBI ended a few more criminal careers, and ended them because of a factor in law enforcement that few criminals consider. They commit a crime in one city, sell their loot in another city, and then flee to a third city. There, they assume that they are safe. The distance lends them security. But your FBI is more than just a collection of trained specialists in crime investigation. Your FBI is also a network of field offices, each one available to every other office, which makes the flight of the criminal valueless, because he can find no dark corner of the nation without an arm of that network, without a representative of your FBI.
In just a moment, we will tell you about next week's exciting case from the files of your FBI.
Mr. Keating, that equitable education fund you were telling us about sounds swell. But I'm just wondering whether I can afford one for my boy.
Don't let that worry you, Bob. If you can't afford a fund that will pay the full cost of your boy's education, why not start one that will pay part of the expense? In any event, the man to see is your Equitable Society representative. Get in touch with him soon. Or send a postcard, care of this station, to the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States.
Next week, we will bring you another colorful story from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The Innocent Witness.
The incidents used in tonight's Equitable Life Assurance Society's broadcast are adapted from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. However, all names used are fictitious, and any similarity thereof to the names of persons living or dead is accidental. Tonight's program was transcribed, and the music was composed and conducted by Frederick Steiner. Your narrator was Dean Carlton, and Special Agent Taylor was played by Stacey Harris. This Is Your FBI is a Jerry Devine production. This is Larry Keating speaking for the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States and the Equitable Society's representative in your community, and inviting you to tune in again next week at the same time when the Equitable Life Assurance Society will bring you another thrilling story from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The Innocent Witness on This Is Your FBI.
This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
This program was transcribed from an earlier network broadcast.
The Equitable Life Assurance Society presents This Is Your FBI. This is your FBI, the official broadcast from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Transcribed and presented as a public service by the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States and the Equitable Society's representative in your community. In 2.5 years, this program has grown to be one of the most popular on the air. Millions of homes tune in every week. To this great home audience, we of the Equitable Life Assurance Society feel a special responsibility. Our equitable messages must be keyed to home and family problems. Tonight's equitable commercial concerns the education of the coming generation. Are there children in your home? Then don't fail to listen for valuable information on the Equitable Education Fund. You'll hear it in about 14 minutes. Tonight's FBI file, The Innocent Witness.
There is a feeling shared by many citizens that the current crime wave, the most serious and widespread in the history of the nation, is the concern of local police departments and other law enforcement agencies. In part, that is true, because it is their problem. But it is not their problem exclusively. The crime wave is also your problem, and it is shared with you by every other decent, law-abiding American. Because any study of the 5,000 major crimes committed in this country every day shows that the great majority of victims are innocent people. For that reason, it is to your best interest to see to it that your local police department is as strong as possible and as free from corrupt political influence as it can be. In that way, you'll be helping to protect everyone in your community, including yourself. Tonight's FBI file opens on the crowded west side of a large eastern city. In a hall in this modest neighborhood, a small dance band is playing music for a Saturday night dance. One of the couples on the floor, young Nick Gonzalez and his girl Peg, are paying much more attention to each other than to the music.
Peg.
Yes, Nick?
What do you think I did during lunch hour today?
What?
I went looking at furniture.
Oh? What'd you see?
Oh, a living room suite, all covered with that plush stuff, just the way you wanted it.
Was it very expensive?
Honey, everything is expensive.
Well, yes.
Look,
but...
if we're gonna get married, we gotta have furniture.
I know that.
Well, then let me worry about the money end.
Hey, Nick. Nick.
Huh?
Over here.
Hey, honey, look who's there. It's Phil.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, let's dance over to the edge.
Okay.
Hiya, Nicky, old boy.
Hiya, Phil.
Long time, huh?
Yeah. Hey, you remember Peg, don't you, Phil?
Sure. Hello, Peg.
Hello.
You know, the last time I saw you, honey, you were playing with dolls.
Hey, now, wait a minute. She wasn't that young. When we were in the 8th grade, she was in the 4th, remember?
Nicky, I was just kidding. Still sucker for a rib, huh?
I guess so. Hey, what brings you back to the neighborhood, Phil?
Well, to tell you the truth, kid, I came here to see you.
Oh?
It's, kind of a private matter.
Well, Nick, I'll let you two talk.
Hey, wait, Peg. Phil didn't mean that.
It's private, Nick.
I'll go powder my nose. I'll meet you at the soda fountain as soon as you're free.
Okay.
Let's sit down over here, huh? Yeah, we'll grab this booth, Nick.
Right.
Sit down over there.
Okay.
I'll fill you in on why I'm here.
Go ahead.
Last Sunday, there was a shooting down on 12th Street.
Mm-hmm.
According to my information, there was one witness to that thing. You were it, Nick.
That's right.
I also understand that a guy paid a call on you the other day and tried to get to change your testimony.
Yeah?
You, chased the guy away.
Sure.
I work for the same fellow who sent him.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm here for the same reason.
Wait a minute. Phil, you mean you're mixed up with that...
Kid, let's stay with the business at hand, huh? You see, my boss knows I went to school with you, and he asked me to tell you it's very important to him that you forget what you saw.
I couldn't do that, Phil.
Not even for an old pal?
Not for anybody. I saw a poor guy got shot down in cold blood. I saw the two men who gave it to him. They deserved a book thrown right in their faces.
Oh, but, kid, you don't
Look, I don't want to hear any more of this. I gotta find Peg. I'll see you around again sometime. Just a minute.
Hiya, Ken.
Oh, hello, Phil.
Can I come in and see you a minute?
Sure, come ahead.
Thanks. Nice. Nice little room you got here.
Well, that's okay.
I just dropped by, kid, to see if you changed your mind since last night.
No, Phil, I haven't.
I didn't think you would. Hey, nice picture of Peg.
I tinted it myself.
Yeah? Nice. Say, what's this I hear about you two?
What do you mean?
You're going to get married, is that true?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you let a guy know these things?
Well, I haven't seen you in 4 years, Phil. Where can I get a hold of you?
That was a rib, kid.
Okay.
When are you getting married?
Next month.
Big church wedding, I suppose.
Yeah.
All kinds of preparations.
Uh-huh.
You know, it'd be a shame to spoil all that, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, have something happen that would upset everything.
What are you talking about?
That shooting you were a witness to.
Well?
Remember there was a third guy, the guy who got away, the guy nobody saw?
Yeah.
I just got the word this morning on who that third guy was. It's Peg's brother.
What?
Her brother, Jimmy.
No, wait. Is this another one of those ribs, Phil?
No, kid. This time I'm leveling. The boss himself gave me the information. Told me to pass it on to you.
Oh, I see.
He also said to tell you that if you testify that you recognize the two killers, they'll turn around and blow a whistle on Peg's brother.
Oh.
I hate to hand you one like this, kid.
Oh. What can I do? I can't change my testimony.
Oh, you can go away. In fact, I got a place all picked out.
I could never get away with that.
Look, you stay under till the trial's over. Then you cop a plea. Amnesia. It's worked before, kid. Plenty of times.
Well, when do you think I should go?
Right now.
Several miles away in the same city at the FBI field office, Special Agent Jim Taylor is seated at his desk working. A visitor interrupts him.
Jim Taylor?
Yes, that's right.
I'm Sergeant McAllen, police headquarters.
Oh, hello there, Sergeant. How are you?
Fine, how are you? Your agent in charge told me to come in and see you.
Oh, I see. Well, sit down, Sergeant.
Thank you.
Now, what's on your mind?
Well, I wonder if you remember reading about a shooting that occurred a week ago Sunday. It happened on West 12th Street.
Yes, I do. I believe the victim was shot in the back by two gunmen who were later picked up by the police.
That's right. We have them in custody now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's sort of an inside story to that shooting, Jim.
Really?
Yeah, the victim was a bit of a civic crusader, a champion of clean politics and good government, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got reason to believe that he had compiled some pretty damaging information about a corrupt political leader named Smith.
I see.
And indications are that Smith had this man killed.
Well, can you prove it?
Unfortunately, no, but we did have a strong case against the two gunmen.
Did have?
Yeah, you see, the killing was observed by a single witness, and that witness is now missing.
Well, what's the story on that, Sergeant?
Well, the witness is a young man named Nick Gonzalez, and to the best of our knowledge, he's honest and reliable.
Mm-hmm.
And he was supposed to appear at the DA's office yesterday afternoon, but he didn't show. Well, we went to his rooming house, and he wasn't there. We set up his surveillance, and he didn't come home all night. In fact, he's still missing.
Did you check his place of business?
Yeah, I hadn't reported for work this morning.
Sergeant, look, tell me, you think this man Smith could have gotten to him and bribed him to go away?
I don't know. Inasmuch as it's only supposition that Smith is involved, there's no basis for questioning him.
No, that's right.
Well, in any case, we believe that there could be an FBI angle.
You mean unlawful flight to avoid testimony at a criminal trial?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you checked on Gonzalez's background, his relatives, his friends?
Well, he has a girl. He's supposed to marry her next month. Her name's Peg Martin. I'm going over to question her now.
Fine. And, Sergeant, let me know what you find out.
Phil? Hey, Phil.
What do you want?
Huh?
I said, what do you want?
Where's Phil?
He's gone back to town.
Who are you?
I'm in charge here.
In charge?
Yeah,
What are you running here, a prison camp?
very funny.
What time is it?
Little after 2.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
Hey, how did I sleep so late?
How do I know?
Where is this place, anyway?
Just look out the window.
I can't see anything here but trees.
So you're near trees.
Look, what I meant is, how close are we to the city? What town are we in?
What are you asking me for? You drove here yourself last night.
I was blindfolded.
Phil blindfolded?
Yeah.
Well, let him tell you where you are.
But you said he's gone back to the city.
Look, stop bothering me, will you?
Okay. Can I get something to eat?
There's food in the kitchen.
Swell. Think I'll eat and then take me a walk.
Oh, no. No walk.
Huh?
Phil's orders, you don't leave here.
Well, is there a phone here?
Yes. But you don't use it.
Now, wait a minute. Phil promised me I could get in touch with my girl, let her know where I am.
You don't use the phone.
But she'll be worried.
Oh, ain't that too bad? You just stay put here till Phil comes back. You got any beefs? Tell him they're him. You busy, Jim?
No. Come on in, Sergeant.
Thank you.
Did you get to talk to the Gonzales girl?
Yeah, I just left her.
She give you anything?
Well, no, she hasn't seen him either. She was pretty worried about him. She said they had a date last night, and he didn't show up.
You think she was telling the truth?
Yes, I do.
Well, could she contribute anything as to where he might be?
Well, she did give me one lead, yeah.
Oh, what was that?
Well, they went to a dance Saturday night, and a guy named Phil Dayton showed up there. He'd gone to school with Gonzales.
And?
Well, they went off in a corner and talked, and when Dayton left, the girl said Gonzales was quite upset.
What about?
Well, she gathered that Dayton had tried to persuade the boy not to testify.
Oh, I see. Oh, Sarge, have you ever heard of this man, Dayton, before?
Oh, yeah, he's a stooge for the politician, Smith.
Well, that certainly ties in.
Yep.
Sergeant, look, before we can get in this case, we must be sure the witness has fled and then consult the United States Attorney. Meanwhile, I'd certainly advise you to question this man, Dayton.
Hello?
Hello, Peg?
Oh, Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick, where are you?
Well, I can't tell you that.
What do you mean? Oh, what's happened?
I had to go away.
But where?
It's not far, honey. Just 1 hour's ride from town.
Nick, the police were here looking for you today. They questioned me for almost an hour.
What for?
It was about you. They think you've run away because of the trial. Nick, did Phil Dayton have something to do with your going away?
Phil Dayton? Why should he?
You told me at the dance that he asked you not to testify.
Sure, but I told you then it didn't make any difference.
Look, you've got to come home at once.
Peg, I can't.
Well, listen to me. My family know about this. They think you've run away, too. If you don't come back, it can mean the end of our marriage. Of everything.
No.
Honey, that's what my father said.
But he can't do that.
I'm telling you.
Look, Peg, I'm doing this for you.
What do you mean?
Well, I didn't want to tell you, but I've got to.
What?
I did run away.
Oh.
I ran away because Phil told me your brother Jim was the third man in the killing.
Jim?
Yeah, that's why I'm in hiding. Look, honey, I can't talk much more. I had to sneak this phone call. Maybe the guy who's watching is asleep.
Nick, wait a minute. That killing was a week ago Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
Well, Jim was home here all night. We all were.
Are you sure?
My Uncle Ben was here, too, and he's a policeman. That should be evidence enough.
Well, sure it should. Peg, Phil lied to me. He must just...
Give me that phone. Told you not to make no calls.
Wait, I just found out something.
Get back in your room.
Oh, no, I'm getting out of here.
You're what?
I'm getting back to town.
No, you're not.
Oh.
You're staying right here.
We will return in just a moment to tonight's case from the files of your FBI. To every college man, there is no music ever written that can compare to the songs he sang in his student days, on victorious football fields, or gathered round the piano in the old Union House.
Well, I guess I did my share of singing, Mr. Keating. But I majored in physics. I also had to study pretty hard.
I'm sure you did, Jack, and there are plenty of others like you. That may be why the average college graduate earns $72,000 more during his working years than the average American. What's more, that extra $72,000 is just half the story. Educated men and women have cultural interest and appreciation that they wouldn't part with for any amount of money. So for many reasons, everyone agrees college is the wisest and best investment loving fathers and mothers can make for their children.
You're right. I've decided that my boy is going to college if it's the last thing I do.
Well, if that's the way you feel, Jack, you'll be interested in an equitable education fund.
Equitable Education Fund? What's that?
It's a surefire plan offered by the Equitable Life Assurance Society, and it includes these important features. 1, you start when your children are young and spread their educational costs over 10 or 15 years instead of taking a licking in 4. 2, when your boy or girl is ready for education, the money is ready and waiting for him, right there in the Equitable Education Fund. 3, this equitable plan works whether you live or die. If you're totally or permanently disabled, the fund continues to build up without any further payments. If you die, the education fund becomes fully established immediately.
That all sounds like just what the doctor ordered. How do I go about starting one of these funds?
The man to see is your Equitable Society representative. Give your children their chance to earn that extra $72,000 by getting in touch with your Equitable representative soon. Or send a postcard, care of this station, to the Equitable Society.
That's EQUITABLE.
The Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States. And now back to the FBI file, The Innocent Witness.
Tonight's case in the files of your FBI makes one point which is well worth bearing in mind. And that is that you aid no one when you shield a criminal. The history of the various law enforcement agencies like your FBI throughout the country shows that the number of unsolved crimes is relatively small. So that you're condoning the actions of a criminal and obstructing the course of justice does not help him to escape. Because there is no escape. All you do is to make it easier for him to commit another crime before his apprehension. And thus you become a partner in that crime. As a decent citizen, you enjoy many privileges. But because you enjoy those privileges, you also have a moral responsibility to your fellow citizens. And the only way to discharge that responsibility in a situation like the one in tonight's case is to call your local police and give them the facts. They will do their part, and you will have done yours. Tonight's file continues at young Nick's hideout. His old schoolmate, Phil, has just arrived from town.
Larry?
Right with you, Phil. I'm glad you got here.
Why?
I've been having trouble.
Yeah, what happened?
I caught the guy using the phone.
Oh, that's great. I thought I told
Look,
you to...
I couldn't keep watching him every minute.
What'd he call?
I don't know, but I stopped it quick.
Did you hear the conversation?
No.
Where's the kid now?
In his room. I had to belt him.
What for?
He wanted to blow out of here. Now, look, what's this all about? Well, we got him here in the first place.
Oh, he was a witness that killing last Sunday. The big guy paid to have it done. The boys who did the job declared that unless they beat the rap, they'd talk.
I get it.
Now I better go in and see Nick. Find out who he talked to.
Okay.
Hiya, Nick.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah. I thought I'd come out and see if there was anything you needed.
I need to get out of here.
Oh, now look, kid. Larry just told me what he did to you, and I'm giving him strict
That
orders.
had nothing to do with it. You lied to me, Phil.
About what?
About Peg's brother, Jim. I spoke to Peg on the phone. She said Jim was home all that Sunday night. She had witnesses.
Really?
Yeah. You just gave me that story so I wouldn't testify.
Oh, now that ain't so, kid. I only told you what the big guy told me.
You both lied. Now let me out of here.
Oh, kid, please, don't make me call on Larry again. Next time he'll use a gun. You stay here until the trial is over.
Do you think I'll keep quiet even then? If you do, you're crazy. Look, you can't keep me here forever, Phil. When I do get out, even if it's 5 years from now, I'll blast you and your boss wide open.
Well, thanks for the tip. I'll be talking to you later.
Jim.
Yes, Sergeant.
Gonzalez' girl called me a few minutes ago over at headquarters.
Oh?
She said that Gonzalez had just phoned her. He told her that he'd run away all right, but he did it to shield her brother.
To shield her brother?
Yeah.
Well, what does he got to do with it?
Well, this Phil Dayton had handed him a story that the girl's brother was mixed up in the killing.
And he fell for it?
Well, he's just a kid, Jim. The brother had been in trouble before, so I suppose he thought he was being noble about it all.
Oh, I see. Well, did she straighten him out?
Yeah. But in the middle of the conversation, she heard a man's voice shout something about, "Get off the phone." Then the receiver was hung up.
Did she hear from him again?
No.
Well, did he get a chance to say where he was?
Not specifically. The only thing he told her was that he was 1 hour from town.
Mm-hmm. And did she try to trace the call?
Uh-uh.
It's going to be a difficult one to locate, Sergeant. Oh, by the way, did you locate this man, Phil Dayton?
No, not yet. We're looking for him, though.
Well, now that Gonzalez knows the truth, you'll want to come back. But that man who grabbed the phone may prevent that.
Yeah.
We may have to go looking for him, Sergeant.
Have you got any suggestions?
Yes. Let's get a map. Now, if he was, say, 1 hour from town, that should cover about a 50-mile radius.
Yeah?
Now, we'll draw a circle at that point and contact every telephone exchange. See if they have a slip on anyone who's called that girl's number.
Hi, Nick.
What do you want?
All right. Just went into town. I saw the big guy.
Your boss?
Yeah. I told him the whole story. I kind of hated to do it, kid, but after all, I worked for the guy.
Did you tell him I'd talk no matter how long you kept me here?
Yeah. He didn't like that much, but he figured out a way to keep you quiet.
He'd better forget it. It won't work.
Oh, don't be too sure, kid.
What was the big plan?
I'll show it to you. Larry.
Yeah?
Bring in our company.
Okay.
Peg, what are you doing here?
I brought her out with me.
Oh, honey.
Oh, darling.
We'll be okay.
Want me to break him up, Phil?
Oh, of course not. Leave them alone. They're friends of mine.
Peg, why did you come here?
Phil called me. He said you wanted to see me.
That was a trick. He just wanted to get you here, too.
What do you mean?
He wants to hold us both.
What?
He's right, honey. You see, Nick wanted to make a lot of trouble for the man I work for, and I want you to convince him that'd be a big mistake. Now, I'll leave you here with him until he changes his mind.
Special Agent Taylor.
Hello, Jim.
Oh, hello, Sergeant.
Did you get anything yet from the telephone company?
No, I got a map full of pins here, but nothing's turned up.
I just went to see Peg Martin.
Gonzalez's girl?
Yeah. She'd gone out about a half hour before.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother told me that she'd gotten a phone call from Phil Dayton just before she left.
Uh-oh, that's not so good.
Yeah, I know.
Look, did she tell her mother where she was going?
No, as soon as she got the call, she ran right out of the house.
Sounds to me like they want to trap the girl, too.
Yeah. Dayton and Smith are pretty desperate men, Jim. There's no telling what they'll do with those kids.
Sergeant, you better get right over here. I've only got a dozen more exchanges to call. We may get something from one of them by the time you arrive.
Larry?
Huh?
How long would you say they've been in there?
Over an hour.
Oh, that's time enough. Let's go in.
Okay. We use any muscle?
Don't be so anxious. Go ahead.
Right.
Well, you two talk things over?
Yeah.
What's the verdict?
I want Nick to testify just as he planned.
You sure of that?
Look, we've made up our minds.
It's too bad. Now, I guess we'll have to handle things the way the big guy wanted it in the first place.
What do you mean?
His orders were that we should kill you.
What?
I was against it. After all, Nick and I are old pals. I asked the big guy to let me try to reason with you, but that didn't do any good.
Look, is this another one of your ribs?
No, kid, I'm sorry to say I'm leveling.
Oh, Nick, you can't be serious.
Honey, believe me, I am.
You'll never get away with a thing like this.
Why not?
The police know I'm missing.
So what? Next they'll find out you're dead. They won't be able to prove who killed you.
Well, you're wasting time.
Yeah. Well, who wants it first?
Nick.
Easy, honey.
Take care of him, Larry.
Oh, he's gone, Nick.
All right. Hey, what is this? We'll be right in, Miss Martin.
Oh, it's you, Sergeant. Thank heaven.
Thank Mr. Taylor, too. He did the shooting.
All right, Sergeant, hop in there. We'll get those men ready for a trip down to headquarters.
Bill Dayton was tried, convicted, and given a 20-year sentence for assault, battery, and intimidation of a witness. His confederate, Larry Hudson, received the same sentence. Both terms were imposed in state court. And so another file was marked closed, and another crime was solved. Tonight's case was closed because a special agent knew what course of investigation to follow, and followed it despite the fact that it was slow, hard work. Now, that is part of the training given to every special agent when he applies to become a member of your FBI. Training which covers a number of months of intensive study in crime solution and also in crime prevention. That ability on the part of every special agent to analyze the ingredients in each case is the keynote of the success of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Success which has brought your FBI recognition as the finest organization of its kind anywhere in the world.
In just a moment, we will tell you about next week's exciting case from the files of your FBI.
Mr. Keating, what's the best time to start an equitable education fund? My baby's just a year old now. Is that too young?
No, Jack. The sooner you start, the lower the cost per year will be. So don't delay. Get in touch with your Equitable Society representative soon. Or send a postcard, care of this station, to the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States.
Next week, we will bring you another colorful story from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Mr. Big Shot.
The incidents used in tonight's Equitable Life Assurance Society's broadcast are adapted from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. However, all names used are fictitious, and any similarity thereof to the names of persons living or dead is accidental. Tonight's program was transcribed, and the music was composed and conducted by Frederick Steiner. Your narrator was Dean Carlton, and Special Agent Taylor was played by Stacey Harris. This Is Your FBI is a Jerry Devine production. This is Larry Keating speaking for the Equitable Life Assurance Society of the United States and the Equitable Society's representative in your community, and inviting you to tune in again next week at this same time when the Equitable Life Assurance Society will bring you another thrilling story from the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Mr. Big Shot on This Is Your FBI.
This program came to you by transcription. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.